A customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. And those words were penned by the great Mahatma Gandhi. Good afternoon. Dr. Green, Director of the Ophthalmology Department, Ms. Azarina Roll, Nurse Manager, Surgical Area 1, Ms. Yvette Evans, Clinical Coordinator, Ophthalmology Department, colleagues, those joining us via Zoom, good afternoon. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you joining us on our session today of Wowing the Customer Service Experience. Customer service can be defined as a service that we provide to our clients' patients when they visit our institutions. The way we make them feel is dependent upon our interactions with them. When we wow our clientele, they will be singing our praises and would be more than pleased to visit us again. Not only that, they would also recommend our services to others. I would now like to call to the podium Nurse Sakita Meadows with our opening prayer, followed by Dr. Rana Green with the introduction of the speaker.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we please stand as we pray? Our kind and loving Heavenly Father, we deem it a privilege to come together on this Thanksgiving Thursday in this fashion. We thank you, Father, for your mercies and your blessings. We ask now, Lord, that you would be with us throughout this session, that as we learn more about wowing our customers, that we would take that information so that persons will know that knowledge has been received. We ask that you continue to be with us throughout this session and make the end of it. We give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Dr. Green?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Sister Bean, and happy Thanksgiving. Yes. And I have this wonderful task to introduce our speaker. Her name is Ms. Simone L. Bowe. Ms. Bowe is a certified corporate trainer, personal development coach, human resources strategist and consultant, leadership advisor, men's empowerment advocate, newspaper columnist, singer, radio, and television host. She has authored 7 books and is particularly passionate about incorporating the elements of optimism, purpose, and emotional intelligence in her program. With a Bachelor of Arts in English and a master's degree in career and human resource development, Ms. Bowe has achieved numerous certifications in human resources administration and vocational education. With a mission to inspire positive change in national development, Ms. Bowe currently serves as the Director of Human Resources and Organizational Development for the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation. Kindly welcome Ms. Simone Bowe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Green, and to all of you. After I heard Sister Bay, and I was like, well, I don't need to present anymore. She summed it all up. Thank you very much. Thank you for laying the foundation for me. But it is certainly a pleasure for me to be here with you in person and online, and thank you for tuning in online as well. And now I see what she means. She asked me if I was a speaker who likes to move around. Oh, so I see now I have to stay in place. I have to behave. I can't church it up in here. All right. But it's certainly a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I have spent the majority of my career, I would say all of it, no, I would say 95% of it I have spent in tourism and hospitality. So customer service is something that I'm very passionate about, not only with work, but also in my personal life. When you are passionate about something, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, you're always assessing the service and assessing what's happening around you. And you should do it too, because we are all customers in some form or fashion. Either we are receiving a service when we go to a restaurant, or we are going to pay a bill, or we're going shopping or whatnot. We are all customers, and we know how we want to be treated. So I want to encourage you as we go through this presentation today that we take this and we really look at ways that you can incorporate this into the service that you provide here at the hospital. I have a short video that I would like to play next, and then we'll jump right in to the topic. I'm good. So I can advance from here. Oh, fantastic. See, we already getting to the wow. We in the wow right now. All right, so here we go. Can they hear? How many of you remember that moment? Everybody gets a car. That is what you would call a wow experience, right? Could you imagine if I told you all, let me just get in this purse. I have something for all of you. And you all, I could tell you all, everybody in here gets a car today. Man, wouldn't that be something? Christmas come. And that is the experience that customer service should have for people. Atlantis came up with that theme when they came on board in the industry, hospitality industry, and one of their core values is to blow away the customer. How do you blow away the customer? You do that by creating experiences that would just make their jaw drop, that would make them get up and scream like those women in the audience. I can't believe that's happening. Wow. How many of us can say that we have had experiences like that as it relates to customer service? Have you ever had anybody cause your jaw to drop? Tell me about it, please. When have you had an experience that caused your jaw to just like, wow, I can't believe that just happened to me? In a good way. Because we all have the bad experiences we could talk about. Good experiences. I think there's a mic there you could probably use to share. She hoping anybody else could talk except her. Is it on?
Good afternoon, everyone. I remember one time I was wowed. We were traveling to the U.S. and something had happened either with our ticket or the luggages or something. And we were just on the regular seating area. I think you call that customer or whatever on the plane. And the lady came and she was like, I am so sorry, madam, sir. What I'm going to do for you is upgrade your ticket. And she gave us a free upgrade to first class to Texas.
Hey, oh, so you were in coach, and you moved to the front of the bus. Awesome.
With all the trimmings.
Oh, so that means she has champagne, y'all. Excellent. Anybody else? So I have a small wow and I think a medium-sized wow. So the small wow was when I went to Starbucks and went up to order, and not only did the person remember my name, but she also remembered what I have. So when I got up to, when you go up to the cash register to place your order, she said, chai tea, because that's all I normally get from chai tea latte, actually. Right, that milky spiced tea, that's what I like. And she said chai tea, and I was like, what? How did she even remember that? And I was like, yeah. And then she wrote my name on the cup. And I was like, well, how she even know me? I started to get a little nervous, like what? I looked to see if I had on like a name tag or something. No, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And the second experience that I had like that, it was actually very similar to that. Y'all can tell I like food. But they're all food examples. But this time I was at the Grand Lucayan in Freeport. And I was doing some work there with the hotel, actually doing customer service training. And I went into one of the restaurants. The server was, really nice. She explained the menu. She made recommendations. The recommendations were good. I was like, okay, enjoyed the meal, had a great time. That ain't the wow of the story. I went there several months later, still working on this project, and went to the same restaurant, had the same server. And she came. We had our greetings and everything, and she came and she take my order, and I proceeded to tell her my order. And she said, no man, you won't come in here to eat the same thing again. I was like, what? How she remember that? And she was on the money. I was ordering the same thing. Because I am one of them type of people now, y'all could confess it or not. If you find something you like, you just stick with it, right? Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not a good thing because you don't try new things. But I really liked how it was the last time. She was like, no man, you can't come here and have the same thing. And she proceeded to make a recommendation. And she said, what you drinking? I said, well, I really don't drink it like that. She said, don't worry, I can fix you up. And she ordered some tropical little thing with the umbrella, and it was nice, and I was like, wow, all right. And so when we talk about wow experiences, customer experiences, so I am glad that you laid the foundation with that definition, because we want to take it a step further from what is just service to creating experiences. Because when we create experiences, we are creating memories. Because notice now, these things for me happened a long time. I can't even remember the dates when they happened, but I never forgot them. So we want to go into how we can create experiences for people that's generally related to how we make people feel. There's some other things on the back end that we need to do, but it is really on how do we make people feel in the customer service that is taking place. So we have a poll. We're going to do it in the room, and we're going to do it online. How would you rate the service provided at PMH? On a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being jaw-dropping wow. 4, really nice. 3, okay. 2, not so great. 1, terrible. So we're going to give our folks online an opportunity to cast their vote. You here in the room, you can think about which number you're going to choose. And there's no shame in this game, because one of the most important things about change is acknowledging where you are. It's only information. What I find a lot of times happens in the Bahamas, rather than us getting to solutions, we just spend a whole lot of time blaming people. Y'all ever notice that? So rather than us finding a solution on how we could be better, we're trying to talk about whose fault it is that it isn't working. That isn't always as important as getting to the solution, in my opinion. So, anyone voting 1, terrible. Let's start right there. What are the results? I can't see that, so you can tell me what the results are. No votes? It's feel like the election. Saying okay. So the majority is 3. What do you all say in the room? Y'all ain't anonymous, so y'all don't want to say 3? So certain areas you think may be higher than the 3, and some people's areas may be lower. That's fair. Okay, good. Be good. Oh. You give me control to move the thing? Okay. All right. So the quality of your service can create fans or enemies of your business. And even though this is public health, this is still a business. It still generates an income. You still come and trade your time for money. This is a business. So the quality of your service can either create fans or enemies. Now I have to tell y'all got a lot of enemies. Right? We ain't coming here to lie. Y'all have a lot of enemies. Why do you have a lot of enemies? Because of their experience. And what about the experience? Let's get very specific. What do your customers say about you or your enemies? Poor attitudes, bad service, bad food, no empathy, not putting yourself in the patient's shoes, in their position or state or condition. And that actually, even though this is not an excuse, it can be typical when you're dealing with things like this, because you do get a bit desensitized, especially when you hear the same issue over and over again. People like, oh, I done heard this 1,000 times. But that's that person's first experience. So every experience has to be as if this is their first, not your 1,000. What else do your enemies say about you? I didn't hear the one that I normally hear. Aside from that one. Don't know how to talk to people was that one. Unprofessional. That still wasn't the one. Don't care. Merciful Father. No, that still wasn't the one. The one that I had in mind was the long wait times. I hear that a lot. And in fact, my boss this morning just was talking about an experience that his uncle had. And they said, if we got to sell body parts and organs, we can make sure we don't come back to PMH. That's what people say. Just this morning, he didn't even know I was coming here. I was a little ashamed. So we want our service to create fans. What do fans do? What do fans do? When you are a fan of something, what do? They cheer you on, excited to share. You get that word of mouth, that free advertisement. They support you, they defend you to the end, and they are loyal to you. So it wouldn't matter how many other healthcare facilities pop up. Just like how some people are as bad as Bahamians talk about Bahamas Air, you can get some people who will never fly another airline. Only Bahamas Air. Yes, it's safe. That's how people feel. And so the safety is more important than the time they may wait. If they are late, they're not always late now. You got to give them some credit. It's just that when they're off bad. But more often than not, we don't hear about the good experiences, but more often than not, the service, the flights are on time. Service is questionable. So what is great customer service? What does it look, feel, sound, and smell like? And I use those senses deliberately, because when we create experiences, we incorporate people's senses. So one of my experiences with work was in a hotel environment, most recently at one of the hotels at Bahamar. And literally, there was a scent that brand used that would float in the lobby. A signature scent that when you walked in there, you knew, you recognized the scent. You didn't, and you're not even conscious of it. But the scent in and of itself helps to create a mood. So there are other things that help to create mood and experiences. So I talked about a fragrance. What are some other things that help to create an experience? Let's look at all the senses. So when it comes to look, pleasant smile. Sorry? Eye contact, yes, very important. Body language, the way you would present yourself, the way you dress. And what about the facilities? Clean, the decor, the ambiance, absolutely. And then what about the feeling that you would get inside? What helps to create a feeling when you could walk in somewhere and, as the young people say, it's just a vibe? Warmth, absolutely. How you're greeted. Tone, absolutely. And it might even be sound like music, or some places you go into, it's quiet, and that sets the tone. People typically don't go into the bank to be loud. You only have those one set who like to be on their cell phone or whatever, being loud. But typically you walk into a bank, your behavior changes according to the environment that you're in. You don't even realize you're talking soft. The environment changed you. And that's how service should be, and when you have a conscious idea of what you want your experience to be like. So great service includes, and we all nailed it, every single one of these, your appearance and image, and that is of you as well as of your environment. The experiences that you create, the atmosphere, the ambiance you talked about, that is created. The language, that's spoken and unspoken, verbal, non-verbal language. And nonverbal language goes beyond our body, goes beyond our posture, and what we do with our hands, our eye contact, all of that is body language. But unspoken language is also the environment, the smell, the feel. So for me, I'm very interested in what employee areas look like, because that to me is an unspoken message. Y'all following with me? So we have a tendency of having very fancy customer areas, and then very unfancy employee areas, or what we would call internal customer areas. So how are we expected to be inspired and excited about serving when our environment is not warm and pleasant and inspiring and pleasant and all these other positive words, uplifting? So that's something to think about, the environment for even our internal customers has to reflect this in order for us to deliver the kind of service that we want. And then, of course, the value that it gives. People want value for money. And even though we may say this is a free service, there's still some paid services, right? And so we have to shift our perspective that because this is free, because this is public health, whatever this may be, that people still don't want value. People still want value. What is valuable? They are. I am here. My time is valuable. The money that I do spend is valuable. And my health is valuable. And the health of my family members or whoever may be here receiving a service. That's good. Any questions or comments on that? Make sense? Okay. So we can push on. One of the things that I love to, you all like my little chart picture? I put that there just for you. But one of the things that I love to talk about when I talk about customer service, because we do tend to focus on these externals like the eye contact and the smile and people being friendly and all of that, but service is much more than that. And it's more than just a transaction. So when people come to a business or they're dealing with a person or whatever, that there's an exchange happening. It's more than just the exchange that's happening. So I have a bottle of water, you have $2, you give me $2, I give you the bottle of water. And that's typically how sometimes it is, right? It's just a transaction. You may come in and say, how much is the water? I could say $2. And then it'll be like, if I was really ghetto, I'd be like, so what you dealing with? Or you may say, yeah, all of that, $2. But at the end of the day, is either you want the water, and then we have this $2 and this exchange. That's the transaction that I'm talking about. But customer service should be more than that transaction. Customer service is now what happens around the transaction, before, during, and after the transaction. So what can happen before the transaction? Greeting. Now, this is a very cultural thing. Who should greet first? The customer or you? You as a service provider. Now, here's why I bring this up. Culturally, who speaks first? If somebody walks into a room, the person that walks in the room, you get free water. Everybody get a water. No. You see what happens now? Culturally, we have a mindset that the person that walks in should speak. That's good manners. And so a lot of times when we walk into our establishments, you got to be the one to speak who walk in. Have you noticed that? That people don't even check for you. They're looking at you. Only if you need something or if they got to get that commission, then they won't come tailing you to the cash register. And I tell them, no, anybody help you? No. You won't get that commission. You won't help me. Don't come tailing me now. You should speak to me when I come in the store. So we have to shift that. We need to greet. That's something that happens before. Even before the greeting. Let's dig a little deeper. Where does customer service actually begin? Before they even meet you, before they even see you, before they even come inside. The environment, the parking lot, the wall, from the street coming in customer service has begun. So we had a little chat on the way in about the parking, right? So imagine if now I'm frustrated, I can't find nowhere to park. I done coming in vexed. And that's why sometimes I take it out on y'all. These elements, right? So what about now we talk to the coming in, the greeting. What else should happen during this transaction? What if I have questions? So, okay, this is $2. Wow, that's a little pricey. What's so special about this water? Why is it special? So you should be knowledgeable about the water and willing to share that information. And so if we had more time, we could talk about the types of customers. I'll just quickly run through. We have a few types of customers, and I'm sure you've come across them. So you have some customers who are very analytical. They love information. They are going to be the ones who would have Googled about this whole thing before they even come. They would be the ones to say, well, I read on your website that. So when you come in to try and tell them something, no, but I saw where, and oh, can I read that please? And you're telling them sign here. No, just a second. And they are going to read everything. So you have people and they're going to ask a lot of questions. They want to know, they want information because they want to make an informed decision. Then you have those people who are they are just about the transaction. Hurry up. I ain't all your fluff. I ain't your greeting. They the ones. Good afternoon. They cutting you off. They don't even want you to be nice. I just want what I came for. How much is the water? $2? And that's it. And we would look at those people, they rude, they this and that. Yeah, they probably are. But at the end of the day, you give them what they want. If they only want the water, then take the water. I can keep my smile then. Then you have some people who love to be social. And they want to talk. And they want to engage with you. And they want you to help them make a decision. And they want your opinion. And sometimes it's hard to get them to move on because you got other people to deal with, but they just, right? But all of that is a part of the experience that people are looking for. So our ability to be able to notice what those different types of customers are like and how to do that helps us, as you said in your objectives, to build the trust. Because now you understand me. Y'all remember that old show that used to come on Cheers? And they used to say, this is where everybody knows my name. That's what people love. You see how that freaked me out when I went to Starbucks and that girl knew my name? That's what builds trust. That's what builds loyalty. When people can now, you get me, you understand me. When we could get into a relationship like that, when somebody actually get me, I can actually be my true self, and you still love me. That's what people look for, even in customer service. So let's look at some principles, and I'll wrap this up. So first principle about customer service and creating a wow experience is that service starts at the top. Dun, 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 dun. It's not just about the people on the front line. Customer service has to be supported from very top levels of the organization. Why? Here's why. Your beliefs and your vision about customer service is important. So you have to bear in mind, what do you want your internal customers to experience? What do I want them to feel and to see? And what service feels like for them? And how they deliver service. Do they have the tools that they need? Do they have the resources that they need to deliver the service? Do they have sufficient breaks? What happens? Do they have fun things? Do we have learning and development opportunities? What are the things? All of that is service for the internal customer. And then the external customer, what do we want our customers and clients and patients to experience? And so at the very top, we should have a vision and a belief system, a mindset toward service. We can't just give lip service to it. We have to put the framework and the structure in place to make service successful. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we must give our customers what they want, need, and value. We have to give them what they want, need, and value. And most times, what do they want? We have to find out. And we get that from their feedback or doing surveys, doing a study on, somebody may have to sit in the A&E or sit in your office and determine, okay, how long is it taking for someone to get from registering to being seen to leaving? And then determining, well, what's happening in between there and how could we perhaps speed it up or enhance the experience so that they don't mind having to wait. Because sometimes the wait might be a bit necessary. So we want to pay attention and ask, find out what customers want, need, and value. What's important to them? What do they need? And a lot of times they need care, they need empathy, all of the things that you all said earlier. They need attention. They want to know if I'm coming and I'm sharing my issue, that I want to hear it. I want to see that you're giving me eye contact, that you're interested in my problem. Even though you all would have done, here's so many problems all through the day. But we can talk about that part a little later. We need to give value, no matter what the service is. Customers need to feel that they are important and it's worth their time and effort coming and being a part of the business. So we have to give value every time. And we need to respect their dignity and their time. So we must respect that people sometimes go out of their comfort zone. Even when people complain, even when people are frustrated, that takes time and effort because some people don't complain. And they're the scary customers because they're the ones who will walk out and they won't say a word, but then you will see a big post on Facebook and they can call your name. Exactly. You see? Your whole government name. And they might even sneak a picture of you and all. Or they can go on your Facebook and try, that's her right there. Take a little video. People will go the extra mile to do that. So we want to make sure that we are giving them and exceeding what they actually expect. Those things are the basic things. That we could respect people, give them value, care about them, show empathy, understanding where they're coming from. That's the foundation of any service experience. I want to stress this point before I move on to the next one. When we talk about understanding and actually initiating feedback from our customers, it is important to find out what your customers are saying about you. Not to be defensive, but to fix it. So one thing that I've realized in life, and this is about business, this is about your personal life, feedback is a gift. I heard someone say before, I think it was Lisa Nichols, she's a motivational speaker. She said, sometimes it comes wrapped in sandpaper. Sometimes it hurts. It is quite an analogy. Sometimes it hurts, but it is still a gift. Why is it a gift? Why is feedback a gift? I'm asking you. So you can improve. Right? Yes, it gives you a chance to evaluate. It gives you an opportunity to see something that you may not have been aware of or that you may have taken for granted. You may not have noticed. You call that the blind spot, right? We all have that blind spot in the car, that area that side window mirror just won't catch. Isn't that amazing? So I find now I'm looking at it, but I still look back because sometimes somebody could be right there, you don't know. And that's the same thing with our lives. Sometimes there are aspects of us, there are aspects of our work that we just may not see. And we need somebody else to help us to see. And sometimes it is more about their perception and how it made them feel, more so than an actual issue. I was just in a meeting this morning with a couple of people going at it, of just difference of opinion, and a lot of it, some of it was based in truth, some of it was based in how it made the other person feel. So we have to accept the gift of feedback so that we know what we're doing and we know how we can get better. The third principle is preparation, people, and processes. So we have to create processes, procedures, and policy that support service. If we find that our policies and our procedures are causing our service to take longer, we have to determine what is really important. And is there a way for us to streamline the process so that the service delivery is easier? Is the process causing people to be angry at you and you're getting cursed out every day because of this process? Then we need to look at the process. And one thing I love about policies and processes is that they can change. I think we get too attached to these things like they can't change. We have the power to change these things. If it is not working, let's fix it. And we need to prepare people to serve. We cannot think that because someone has a lovely smile that they are service-oriented. And sometimes we have the wrong people. Can I say it? We have the wrong people doing service jobs. You can't put people who don't like people to deal with people. You can't put people who are introverts, people who like to be in the background, people who prefer to work alone. You can't put them on the front line. Why? Peopling is draining. Customer service is rated as one of the highest, most stressful jobs other than your own. It's draining. So introverts, dealing with people depletes their energy. This is why people will call themselves, I'm a homebody, I like to be home. That's why for them, this whole lockdown and quarantine and all this other stuff, they love that. I was living like this from before COVID. They ain't got no issue with it. I was never going nowhere. So dealing with people and stuff, it takes so much out of them that putting them in that kind of a situation, you're not going to get their best. So you have to look at who are we putting in these areas, and then the people who have to deal with it, are we training them on how to give value and how to deliver service, how to be empathetic, how to show care, how to be responsive, right? Fourth principle, let's make it easy. Let's make accessibility of our products and services easy for our customers. I find a lot of times in the Bahamas, honestly, we pride ourselves in our ability to say no to customers. And we do it with great pride and passion. We love it. We don't do that. No. I'm telling you, this is years of pain and suffering that I've experienced. And I tell you all, I'm a foodie. I like going to these restaurants and this and that. So you'll ask them, well, do I have to have fries with that? Yes. That's how we serve that. They ain't trying to substitute. You go to America? Yes. Can I get mashed potatoes instead? Yes. Could I get a salad? Yes. Anything you want, you can get it. I said, well, how come they don't do that at home? Why it's so hard for us? I don't understand it. No, we don't. And we're not teaching service in our organizations. So I'm really happy this is a visionary session that you're doing, and I applaud you all for doing this today. Fifth principle, and this is the last one, revise and repeat. So again, don't get locked down into something. Okay, if it's not working, change it. If it's working, let's keep doing it. It's simple. This stuff is not hard. We just have to have the will to do it and to put the necessary work into making it happen. So now I want to talk about you a little bit, the service provider. as I wrap up. As I mentioned before, the service jobs are very stressful. There's high levels of burnout when we are delivering service. Add to that in a healthcare environment. It's explosive, right? However, even as we are transitioning to digitizing our services and automating our services, so we're focusing more on email, on chats, and on the bots. You even have robots answering you now, and I saw even in the US airport, they have holograms in the TSA, where you security, and they have a hologram telling you about the procedures of what shouldn't be in your bag and what to take out and all of this other stuff. A hologram. Y'all ain't want to smile at the people? A hologram will take your job. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter how much we introduce technology, and it does take some jobs out. 50% or more of consumers prefer live help. We're never going to get away from dealing with people. You may be one of those people who, when you call somewhere, you ain't listening to option 1, press 1, press 2, press 3, pressing 0. I lie. You want to talk to somebody? I want to listen to all this. If you want this, press 1. If you want this, press 2. Let me talk to somebody one time who could help me. So when we see that people want to deal with people, that means then that is more energy that's coming out of you as you deal with all of these different cases, case after case after case. And what I think makes it draining, I know for me, I'm in a helping profession also. In human resources is a helping profession. And so what makes it stressful sometimes is when you feel helpless, that there's nothing you can do to help someone in their situation. You see where maybe there could be, but you just maybe not have the power to do it, or the authority, I should say. We all have power. Let me correct myself. We all have power. We may not have the authority to do certain things. So that means then that people want to deal with you. People will pull on you. So it is important for you to take care of you. Just as important as it is for you to take care of your patients, it is important for you to take care of yourself. So here are a few tips. There are so many more. But you want to be able to take breaks, and that's whether they are authorized breaks, or even taking vacation breaks, taking breaks on your personal time, which means you have to make time for yourself. And this is one of the things, I have the superwoman complex too, trying to do everything and be everything to everybody and trying to be everywhere and do all of this stuff. I realize I can't do it. I just told a friend of mine, we were making arrangements to do some work on the weekend, and the last 2 Sundays, I tell her I run out of gas. Like, I am out of gas. By Sunday, I don't even open a laptop, think. Like, you really want me to do that? I don't have it. And I'm realizing that that's okay. Because we realize sometimes we always feel like if we don't do something, that we are wasting time. Doing nothing is not a waste of time. The only time we are wasting time is when we are not doing anything toward our purpose. That's wasting time. But we are commanded to rest. We must take time. We must set boundaries. People will always pull on you. And you know what? When they set their boundaries, they don't want you to say nothing to them. When they turn off their phone, or when they say I'm busy, or when they say I can't make it, that's a boundary. But we killing ourselves. Oh, I gotta go to this shower. Oh, I gotta go to this wedding. Oh, I gotta go to the store. I gotta do the laundry. I gotta do. Meanwhile, they in the salon. They in the spa. They on the boat. They to the fry. You killing out yourself. Take a break. It is needed. And I'm realizing the weekend too short. Or whatever days off you have, Lord of mercy, you need to add a day to the weekend. I feel like, Lord, it's Monday again? I can't believe it. The next thing, to take care of yourself. This is one area that I struggled with as well. Make time to do what you love. Again, we live so sacrificially. We want our children to have the best of everything. We want our spouses and our workplaces, we give them the best of ourselves. But what do you love? What do you want to do? What's on your wish list? What do you want for Christmas? Serious? Serious? Good. Do what you love. Make time for you. Even if it is, let me tell you, one Sunday I didn't go to church, and unfortunately I shouldn't say this on camera, but I'm making it a habit of not going to church. But I'm still saved. I still love the Lord. But I realized that I needed because I've always been in ministry, always pushing and giving. And you get to that place where you just don't have it. And so burnout is a real thing. So one Sunday morning, I got that chai tea latte, and I parked myself right out to the beach, and that was church for me. I'm telling you, that felt so good. That felt so good. And I was just looking at the water and feeling the breeze and the seagulls flapping and all and listening, watching people. I love to people watch, right? But that was enough, and that only cost me that little cup of tea. I'm telling you, do what you love and don't feel any guilt about it. You deserve it. You work hard. You endure a lot. It makes no sense to work to just pay bills and to make other people happy. There's no value in that. And finally, maintain a positive mindset. This is so important. I don't have time for people who are always in negativity. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. If you could be whining and complaining and everything, the world coming to an end and all this other stuff, I just know. I really want to hear that right now. And so sometimes you have to separate yourself from that type of energy. Thank you for that word. Let's try to find a nice way to say it. And it's not that, you don't like people or whatever, but it's just, you got to protect yourself. And you have to protect your energy and protect your mindset and your space. Because if you allow yourself, you could go right down in a dark hole and you don't want to get out of bed. And I have had some weeks like that. This pandemic will just take all the juice out you. So you got to maintain a positive mindset, keep yourself pumped, and you keep yourself pumped by doing things for yourself, by taking time for yourself and directing your passion in areas that give you joy. It can't always be about giving out. And so as I summarize and close, keys to giving superior customer service. How do we get to the wow? We want to create a vision for the service. So I would love to know that you all are going to meet again and talk about this vision for service. What do we want our customers to experience when they come into your department? What do we want to experience as staff? How can we give value? How are we being prepared to serve? Today is a start. This is a great start. Let's keep it going. Let's make the service accessible, the products and everything accessible to people. Keep going and keep growing, keep changing, revising, repeating what's working, keep it moving, and most importantly, celebrate the wins. Celebrate. I hope you're all doing something for the holidays. Today is Thanksgiving, you're here in training, so I know. I see water, I know if you're getting no pumpkin pie or something at the end of this. I put Dr. Green on the spot now. Do something, man. Do something to celebrate yourselves at the end of the year or before the end of the year, however your schedule permits. Do something to celebrate the fact that you made it. You made it through. We've done some things well. We're tweaking and we're retooling, and we can go back at it again. So thank you once again for this opportunity. I know I went way over my time, but I appreciate this. Thank you.
Can we give Ms. Bow another round of applause? Ms. Bow, I think your presentation today was dynamic, insightful, and inspiring, and on top of that, timely. Yes, I think you did an awesome presentation. And just to highlight, a few of the things that you would have mentioned, you talk about the quality of service. And the quality of service can create fans or enemies of our service, and we know so much about that. Another thing you mentioned was take care of yourself. That is so important. You need that time out. We really need that time out, and throughout the past 2 years with this pandemic, it has really been rough on us. And sometimes I think the customer need to take us into consideration too. But it's no excuse for poor service, don't care attitude and all that. But your presentation was spot on. And I just want to mention Mahatma Gandhi words as it relates to customer service again. For those who joined us late, he said that customer service is the most important, a customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. And now I would like to call Ms. Evans just to present you with just a small token of our appreciation. Ms. Evans.
Good afternoon, everyone. And like Sister Bain said, your presentation was so timely and most needed and most appreciated. On behalf of the Ophthalmology Department, we would like to say thank you so much. And I couldn't say any smaller. But Sister Bain said it. But thank you so much. And anyhow, we hope to have you again at some point so you can evaluate what we have done based on what you have told us to do. So thank you.
Thank you once again, Ms. Bow. And now I'd like to call Ms. Kwana Raming, one of our clerical staff at the Eye Care Center. We have a little interesting moment, or I should say historical moment. We're launching our ophthalmology newsletter. And welcome, Ms. Ramin. And followed by Ms. Ramin would be Dr. Green to give the word of thanks.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Sister Bean. Good afternoon again. Welcome to the first ever newsletter from the Department of Ophthalmology called The Eye Looker. This new biannual communication is a significant achievement reflecting growth in our department, and its purpose is to inform, educate, and highlight staff accomplishments. I would like to share with you a few highlights of the newsletter. This is the front page with a message from the director, Dr. Rana Green. All right, thank you. And next, we celebrate staff retirement and research activities. Our feature article looks at the impact of COVID-19 on your eyes. Patient testimonials and staff activities are shared, and we even have an eye teaser for you. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy reading our newsletter. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Raming. And now I'll call Dr. Green with the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, we have had an excellent time today. We are grateful for that. Yes. So I would just like to say thank you. Thank you again, Ms. Bo, for a wonderful, as I just told her, she said it the right way, dynamic, inspiring, motivating, and informative session. Thank you very much, Ms. Bo. We appreciate you. We also wish to thank our moderator, Sister Marsha Bain, and all our team who participated in the program. Special thanks to Ms. Mary Walker and her administrative team for their continued support of our department initiatives and activities. Thank you to the Communications Department at PMH and PHA for their continued support in our communication efforts. Thank you to Ms. Patricia Hamilton and Mrs. Daisy Gibson and their team here at the PMH Medical Library for again being very supportive and accommodating our unit. Special thanks to Dr. Darren Halliday for all his technical expertise and guidance, making this a virtual event. Thank you to Ms. Deschanel Hamilton and Lowe's Pharmacy and Alcon International for their support of this event in providing lunch, yes, Ms. Bo, for the staff. Thank you to Dr. Persephone Munnings and her team with the continuing nursing education, which facilitate this being a CNE accredited event. And hearty thanks to the Staff Development Committee, who were visionary, I agree with you, Ms. Bo, to help and organize such an event that is timely and needed. And that's Sister Ezerine Roll, Sister Marsha Bain, Mrs. Yvette Evans, and Ms. Kay Warner Ramming. And we'd like to thank the entire staff at the PMH Eye Care Center, who all contribute to the success of this event. And special thanks to some people who often work behind the scenes, like Ms. Perlene Hinsey, Mr. Taris Ramming, our resident photographer, Ms. Suzanne Marsh, and Dr. Anna Major Bastian. Thank you very much, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.
And we must not forget to thank Dr. Green herself. Thank you very much, Dr. Green, the Director of the Ophthalmology Department. And thank you, everybody, for coming and sharing this session with us, and those who would have joined us online. We thank you, too, and have a good afternoon, and happy Thanksgiving.